Well, I did have a couple little gifts left. So all these videos that were jammed together are shot over a 3-day period. You can see the first two ones were shot earlier. Let's say Sunday, be shot Friday. Some were shot yesterday, a couple this morning, and this one is on my way home from the mall, almost done. I wanted to talk about the stables a little bit and give you a quick rundown of how the horses are. Obviously, we talked in depth of who qualified, how they qualified, how much they qualified, how they looked. I'm going to give you a quick little rundown of what's to come, what we have to qualify next week, how everybody's barn looks. Now we have a number of horses that are qualifying or that are racing tonight. Tonight is Sunday, which is the day before Christmas Eve. I was going to do this video Monday and then tell you how they raced, but I just couldn't risk it not getting out there quickly because obviously Christmas is Tuesday. So I'm going to give you a little rundown quick of Kevin's barn, Harry's barn, and Jason's barn. Kevin's barn, we have a couple racing, 2 or 3 racing tonight. American League making his first start of the year. Now, they've already drawn for next weekend because of the holiday schedule. American League's entered back into go. So tonight we'd like to get a good mile into him, not have him make a break. And he doesn't usually break, but he has a couple of times in the past. Travis knows him. I would imagine he'll get away wisely with him tonight. I've opted to drive Master Saver from the inside, who's run a lot. So I think put the 2 horses together, who do I need to drive? Probably Master Saver. He's got the rail, so at least Travis got a friend to the left of him if he's wise about it. So American League and Master Saver both racing. We'll talk about Master Saver in a minute. American League all should be good tonight. Art Seeker qualified well. He's in to go Friday in London. Supposed to be some inclement weather in London. That's the last place I'm going to be if it's pouring rain. That place turns into a swamp. So Art Seeker is racing Friday from the rail. Should be good, I would think, from the rail in that class. Be My Delight, my girl. She got the job done. First lifetime start. A runaway winner. 2:01 now. That's a little unfair if you're just worried about times. The track was terrible. It was very, very windy. And that was a very good mile. If you go back and look at the chart lines of the entire race card, you'll see what kind of mile. 2:1:29 on the end of it or something was for Be My Delight. Better Call Mike. A lot of people, one guy asked me, hey, man, you said he was qualifying, then he's not. And for whatever reason, I sent 2 updates out about Better Call Mike, and they never got sent out. So I had emailed our IT guy, and I said, hey, can you check to make sure all my updates were sent out? I think the last one was sent out officially. If I don't know how to use the site all the time also, but the administrative side of our site says the last update I gave for Better Call Mike was on October. I've updated Better Call Mike 5 times since then. So I don't know what's going on there. Better Call Mike was supposed to qualify. I thought Kevin schooled him in 2:1 on Thursday instead. He'll be qualifying next Saturday at Flamborough Downs. Looked good. I didn't go with him. Ryan Holiday went with him. And I was back a little bit out of Trotter in there. And he looked really, really good. So Better Call Mike, ready to rock. Book the Bet's back now. She's rocking. She trained her first start back the other day. I would suspect she'll be ready to go mid-January. She put a little weight on. She got a little shine to her. She did exactly what we needed to do. Just chill out, relax, cool everything down, and have a little downtime. And it looks like she did. She looks great. Buckingham's back going. She actually needs to put on a little weight. She come back a little frail. Some of these horses get out and they get ripping and tearing all fall, and they lose a little weight. So Buckingham, but she's a great eater, so I'm assuming Buckingham will put that weight on no time at all. Cruising with Angus, going to make his first official start. Maybe he raced once. I think maybe he raced one other time. First start this fall, anyway. He qualified great. Phil went with him. Mario went with him in the qualifier. Phil schooled him, and I believe Phil Houdon's going to drive him. I have another horse in there that I have to drive. Muscle Through It, I believe I have to drive in there. But if Phil obviously knows the horse, I texted him last night and I said, hey, can you go drive Road Tripper, my horse? Can you go drive Road Tripper and Cruising with Angus and get them around? He knows them both. So that will work out well for both Cruising Angus and Phil, I would imagine. Dancing at Midlands racing tonight. He's back entered again Friday or Saturday of next week. Very disappointed with his race last week, but he's got a chance here to bounce back, and I'm sure he will. Dancing on My Own. She's going to make her first lifetime start Friday or Saturday next week. Next week at Flamborough Downs. She's in to go with Stonebridge Loyal. So I've opted. I have to drive Dancing on My Own. She's a little finicky, a little cranky. You got to know her, at least for now. And Dancing on My Own, a horse that I probably should go with. Stonebridge Loyal is pretty push button. She's a sweetheart. She jogged last night, as you can probably remember if you watched the races at Flamborough. I was undefeated. I might never lose again. I was undefeated. Saturday, the 22nd of December, 2018. I was not defeated. I won a race at London, and I won the other race at Flamborough. Both fillies raced good. And Dancing on My Own will be racing against Stonebridge Loyal on Friday. Who else we got? Heart 8's back going, looks great. Holden Steady qualified, good. He's in to go on Boxing Day at Mohawk. I'm driving Holden Steady, hoping for a good showing from him. If I Knew Susie, she's in to go next Friday also. Won her last start. She is what she is. She's not a killer, but she's banging out money, and that's all that counts. Candy Mac, he's going to make his first start in Canada. Both him and Majesty Boy back-to-back on this list, and they're racing against each other. This coming Friday in London. I'm driving Majesty Boy. Brett McDonald's listed on Candy Mac. Both should be good, I would hope. Master Savers racing tonight. We talked about him at the outset. He qualified great, looks good. Rail's not a great spot for my boy tonight, but we'll see how he gets along. Last, never least, is Road Tripper. Road Tripper is going to be racing next Saturday at Flamborough. Phil Houdon is going to drive Road Tripper. He qualified him great, did a great job with him. I have one in the Canale Hanover from the rail. Coming off a qualifier, coming off a break. I don't know why he ran last time. It's very odd. He never ever usually makes a break, that horse. And he made a break in the middle of the straightaway. So I don't know whether he just touched himself or got out of gear or what happened. Maybe it was the track, but he made a little break. So we're going to look to fix that mishap. And him and Road Tripper qualified together. Road Tripper beat him at the wire the other day. They're going to go at it again on Saturday this coming week. Road Tripper and Canale Hanover are going to hook up again. So that's Kevin's Barn. We'll be back in just a second with Jason's Barn and Harry's Barn. Back in 1 second. We're back now with Harry's Barn. Harry's got a lot going on, a lot of horses to qualify, a lot of horses to race. There's a lot of racing going on here in the next month. Harry's Barn will start with Autumn Wings. Autumn Wings is almost ready to go. I would say not almost ready to go. Mid till the latter part of January, she should be ready to scoot. I watched her train the other day. She looked fantastic. So far, so good with her. She's never been bad. Her stifles bother her. You know, she was a big growthy, small filly with big growthy stifles, and the plates were bothering her in her stifles, and I think just needs a little time. It's frustrating to bite that bullet and say, hey, let's turn her out, but I think you can see with Be My Delight and Autumn, and what the hell is wrong with me? Autumn Wings is hopefully like Be My Delight and Stonebridge Loyal. Why can I not get that right? Stonebridge Loyal and Autumn Wings seem similar. They're built similar. Obviously different issues. Stonebridge Loyal had bad knees and her feet bothered her. Autumn Wings, her stifles bother her a little bit. These are all growing pains. These are all growth-related issues. And Autumn Wings just needs the same time everybody else does. So Autumn Wings is going to get it. She's almost ready to go now. She's been in 18 a few times. Probably train her a few more times, put her in the bike schooler, and re-qualify her. But she is back going and getting close. Bay Jewel's back. Bay Jewel back jogging. Probably start training her in another 8 to 10 days. She was only off at 6 weeks, and then we'll have her back to go probably middle of February, I would suspect. Fan the Flames is racing well. 3 seconds in a row. They're almost like wins. Really, when you get this much money on a maidens program, every time you finish second, it's almost like a win. So he's a hard luck. He's a habitual loser, but he's pretty. And he wants to be a better horse, and he continues to improve. I think eventually he's going to get out of the maiden, and he'll still fit in the Nalmerza 2, I think. After the Nalmerza 2, we might have a problem. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But along the way, he's banging out checks. Made more money than anybody else last month. Made $10,500, I think, in the month of December so far. I don't think he's racing on Boxing Day. I'm not sure. James has been driving him, so it doesn't show up on my track-it sheet when my horses that I'm driving do. But I don't know if he's in to go or not on Boxing Day. If he's not, then he'll be in to go first of the year. Final Answer's back going. He started training the other day. He'll continue training. Had him to the vet, had him checked. His knees always bothered him. He's a Yankee Glide. Yankee Glide is notorious for having bad knees. The Yankee Glide offspring are notorious for having bad knees, and he does. His knees bother him a little bit. Nothing chronically wrong with them. Just some rough-looking knees for a young horse, but nothing he can't overcome. He's a worker, this horse, and there's no concerns there. Some horse I do have concerns with just a tad. Greg Schoner and him, and I own him. He's going to start training again soon. Still has that OCD in his right ankle. I couldn't take it out because he had that infection in his stifle from when the vet castrated him. So this has been a bit of a shit show, but what are you going to do? It is what it is. The more time we take, the more he'll mature physically anyway. So whatever, I guess it's in for a penny, in for a pound at this point. I think we all know the horse had talent. He was one of our best colts training down last year. It just didn't evaporate, didn't disappear. So we're going to train him a few times and get him close to the qualifiers. If we get down to qualifying and he's hanging on that right line, he's laying over on that shaft, then yeah, we might, again, go and operate and take that chip out and rest him again for a month. But that's racing, and that's the way it is. We're gonna shake the dice up and see what rolls out here in about 3 or 4 weeks' time with just a tad. If he in fact needs that chip out, then we're gonna take it out. If not, it's staying right there. And keep in mind, there has been horses with OCD since the beginning of time. We only started taking them out as a precautionary measure within the last decade or so. More times than not, the only time you would take a chip out is if it was physically hurting the horse. Now, when you see an OCD, it's take it out right away. One, it's cost effective when you look at vet work that may be incurred moving forward because of said chip. So a lot of the times you're going to take them out to be just for a precaution. We do that at the stable when we see them, especially if they're bothering them this time of year. Obviously, this chip never bothered this horse for the longest time, or I would have taken it out last year. I don't know if it just appeared. I doubt it did. So we're going to train him down. We're going to see how it looks. But I don't know why I'm telling everybody this. Nobody owns any shares except for Greg Schoner and I. So for Greg out there, that's the plan for just a tad. Lima's son, he's almost ready to go. Got a green light, a clean bill of health. The vet's virtual take on the Lima's son situation was, it's getting blurry again. The virtual take on the Lima's son situation is simple. His leg's as good as it's going to get. Cross your fingers and away you go. Lima's son has been training fantastic. I don't know what to say. The old Lima's son is ready to go. Is his leg going to hold up and stay together forever? I don't know. The rate of re-injury on suspensories and trotters, especially hind legs, very high. So Harry's been doing a great job. Harry and Chris Monroe Jr., I believe, takes care of that horse. They've been doing a great job, and he looks fantastic. So he's pretty near ready to go. We're less than 2 weeks away, I think, from qualifying Lima's son. Lincoln James, he races tonight. Lincoln James has been on a tear on the B tracks. He got a first, second, and third, I believe, his last 3 starts. Small field tonight, a lot of speed inside me. I don't want him leaving. Probably I'd like to get away 4th or 5th, be second over. I don't want to get away 3rd and be first over into a couple of battle-tested half-milers like the horses coming from New York with the rail and the 2-hole tonight. So we'll see how it plays out with Lincoln James, but that's a plan with him. Linnea is on a little bit of a hold pattern. She was a little tiny bit sick. Nothing out of her nose, so that's good. Just a little under the weather when we schooled her. She did not school well. She had been training fantastic up to that point. We'll make a decision on when Linnea will qualify, I would suspect this Saturday at Flamborough. But we will see. It might be one more schooler first. Don't want any bad lines or any bad trips with this filly. It might be another schooler this week. I'll leave that up to Harry to make the decision on him. Maintenance man back jogging. I don't think he started training yet. I'll be talking to Harry about him again this week. Probably just some jogging trips. He'll start training soon, but I don't believe he started training yet. Maxwell Plum, he's getting very, very close. I think he'll be schooling next Saturday at Flamborough, if I'm not mistaken. But again, I want to talk to Harry. 1, at most 2 weeks away from qualifying Maxwell Plum. Old Maxie, he's very close. Ready for the beach. Qualified good. Good enough that Harry wants to race him at Mohawk on Boxing Day. So that's where he's in to go. He called me and said, who do you want to drive, James or you? I said, what? He said, James or you? I said, for where? He said, Mohawk. I said, you put some crystal meth in with your Frosted Flakes today? What do you mean? He said, "You not see him qualify? He qualified great." He said, "I like this colt." Okay, I guess so. I thought I was going to go to London with him, but no, hey, if you want to race him at Mohawk, we'll race him at Mohawk. So we'll see. He drew the outside. It's not going to be a cakewalk. And I'm surprised Harry wanted to race him there, but hey, that's Harry's call. And, you know, he's a professional. And if he thinks that he's done nothing but talk highly of Ready for the Beach. So I guess we'll see on the 26th of December from Post 9, Ready for the Beach is at Mohawk. Screaming Hawk, he's not getting close. We're just training him. He won't be ready probably till March, middle of February, March. Looking good, though, starting to put some weight on and starting to really, really look good now, this horse. Sunshine's Finest is back jogging. He is not training. Probably won't start training him until midway through January, I would suspect. March, looking for March for Sunshine's Finest. Sunshine Inn is not going to last till March. She's about 2 weeks away. Harry's been in 15 3 or 4 times with her. He'll have her ready to go probably mid-January. Nah, third week in January, I think. I would suspect Sunshine Inn will either school or qualify. She'll be ready soon enough. The Butler did it, started training. Harry said every time he trains him, he gets a little stronger. His feet bother him. His knees don't bother him as much as we thought they did. We had them checked out. He said, no, his knees are all right. His feet got wide navicular channels, so his feet are going to pose a problem, but nothing that we can't maintain, I would imagine. The biggest thing is that as he takes weight from the front end and puts it on the back end, you are going to have to make sure that you're not overworking him. He can get strong enough to behind to balance that out, and you have to make sure, keep an eye on his curbs, keep an eye on his stifles, and obviously keep working on his feet. But the Butler did it, his training. I saw him train the other day. Looked good training. Too Far Gone, she's 1 week, maybe 2 away. She popped a quarter crack. I thought she would have been qualified by now. Harry said he needs 1 more week with her, so she'll likely be schooling next Saturday, the Saturday after, at Flamborough Downs, and be ready soon enough. And War Wee Ultra, she's not started training yet, just jogging. She looks great, that filly. She filled out, grew up, sprouted out, and looks great. So War Wee Ultra, again, these horses that raced good last year, she might not have put them a lot of money on her card, but you know, the night she broke the hobble, she was going to win. That's just bad luck. So I think War Wee Ultra probably just needs, you know, a couple months training and should be ready to go probably in March. So that's Harry's Barn. I'll be right back with Jason's Barn. We'll call it a wrap. This is going to end up being a long Christmas video. But, hey, we're off. We got holidays. Well, you do anyway. So take your time and watch it in segments if you want. Try not to fall asleep. I'll be back in a minute with Jason's Barn. Well, we're almost done. This video's long, as I said, but it is what it is. I want to make sure that everybody is as well informed as they can be. Jason's Barn's got a lot going on. A lot of horses come back in. A couple of horses going out. One that's out in the field. Another one we're just looking for the proper way forward for her. So we'll get right into it. Arvika. Now, Arvika won her second last start, made a break in her last start. Then she was so big, I just gave her time off. She just looked like she was going through a growth spurt. She was out for 4 or 5 weeks. She's back in now jogging. She'll start training here this week, I would suspect. And they'll have her ready probably in another 2 or 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. I'll be honest with you. I haven't seen her physically with my own eyes. Jason said that she's got a lot bigger, which isn't that shocking. It's hard to believe. You'd say, oh, 4 weeks, what are they going to do? You'd be surprised how much a horse can grow in 4 weeks. It's going through a growth spurt. So Arvika back jogging, soon to be training. Boston Glide racing on Boxing Day. He's now found himself into the non-winners at 3 or 50. That can be a little tricky. He might end up back on the B tracks. There's a lot of places to go with this horse. I mean, if we have to ship him somewhere to race, we certainly can do that also. But Boston Glide may find himself in some deep water if we're going to be racing him at Mohawk. But I think he can do there, that horse. I think he can get a little bit better. He's already trotted in 56. I don't see any reason why he can't again. So Boston Glide back racing good. He won a start 2 starts ago. He was 5th last week, picking up money and getting better. So that's what all we can ask for. Casanova's Jewels back training. I watched Jason train a 1.5 miles the other day with Lima's son, and he looked really, really good. I love this horse. Anybody that watched him race last year, when you saw him make that break, and then in Pennsylvania, make a break, come back trotting, circle the field, and win, horses don't do that. And he's just a competitor. He wants to win. He wants to do good. We're going to give him every opportunity. He won't be ready probably till the end of February, I would think, first part of March. Canale Hanover, he's racing next Saturday. Made what I would consider a fairly uncharacteristic break in his first outing in the slop at Flamborough, and then qualified well with James. Now, James got beat. Road Tripper beat him at the wire. Road Tripper's no slouch either. And Canale Hanover has never been good on the front end, so James said, he just wasn't sharp on the front. Never has been. Even when he won that stake race in the Meadows in the mud, he was in dirt cheap and just hung on for a horse that was racing as good as he was. His best races are not on the front end. We're going to try and not have him there from the rail at Flamborough on Saturday. Curious Winner, very close now. Schooled okay the other day. Told Jason make a few little more changes with him, and we'll put him in to qualify at Flamborough next Saturday. No concerns there for me yet. No concerns yet from me for Curious Winner. Dance Hall Babe, due to come back any day now. We give her lots of time off. This is a filly that won the Autumn Stakes. You might say, the race was terrible. It was a disgusting race. She still got there first, though. She qualified as a 2-year-old 58. I would suspect we won't need the hobbles on her anymore, but that will be up to her. She'll be back this week. Delcrest Star Angel went out. She's going to have about a good 2-month holiday. I want to make sure that she'll be back in February 1st. I want to make sure she has February 15th, I'd say. I want to make sure she has all the time in the world to grow up. Obviously, mentally, she was ready to go. Physically, not quite there yet. Nothing wrong with that. She's still a baby. She'll be fine. Happy Holidays hasn't missed a check, I believe, since she's come back. Second, 2/3, and 2/5. Fifth last night. 3 wide the last 3/8 of the mile. Beat 2 lengths. I thought she raced rather well. She's in next week also. Ivanka has begun training. She looks good. She'll continue to train. Probably have her ready to go February sometime. Jalona, race 2 tonight. Yesterday for you. Hopefully we did well. She's picking up money and racing well. I would suspect when she drops that extra little bit of allowance off her claiming tag on January 1st, she'll be leaving with somebody else's Leechank from the paddock, I would think. But we'll see. She's been banging out money and racing well, so good for Jalona. Oso Pine is back going, not training yet, just jogging. Really happy with what I've seen from Oso Pine. How can't you be? He filled out. He's a nice horse. He's just a good-looking horse and a nice horse all around. Oso Pine, big hopes for him in Ohio this coming summer. Mystical Mission, he's racing on Boxing Day. Has been racing pretty good throughout. Thought he was a little... he got beat at the wire the other night. A little lackadaisical, but the track was deep and shitty. He likes a hard track. For a horse that his feet bother him from time to time, he doesn't like a deep track. He likes a hard track. Sounds weird, eh? Horse with sore feet likes a hard track. Anyway, he does not like a deep track. It was deep the other day. He was second, beat ahead at the wire. Raced well, but should have probably won the race. But has been racing well. Not an Angel. She's back going, looking good. She did exactly what we wanted. Filled out, looks great. That minor injury she had in her left hind looks like it's come down good. So we're expecting her to be ready to go probably February, March-ish. Very happy with her. Pay the Line Blue Chip, right out of the... That's what, I said to somebody the other day, they asked about Pay the Line Blue Chip. I said, her lines and her money earned don't reflect it, but she is a very classy horse. There's a filly that was in the pool, off for a month, in the pool for a month, trained twice, put into go, and jogged her first start. No way on earth that filly was tight, but still found a way to jog. She's in to go on Boxing Day at Flamborough Downs in the evening. Picked to win 8-5 from the rail. And I told somebody the other day that Ryan Holiday said, you better get her out of there. They're going to claim her. He said the only way she's leaving there is if they do claim her or somebody files an injunction, because I'm going to make them really like it here for the next little while with Pay the Line Blue Chip. She's deserved some easy racing for a very long time, and she's found it. So yes, she only has a $12,000 tag on her right now with allowances, which is going to drop to 10 here January 1st. But I'm not going to hurt this filly. I want her in where she can hurt them, and that's where she likes it. Pay the Line Blue Chip, picked to win on the 26th in December. Stolen Dance, been tossing it around with our clients what we're going to do. I'm leaning, the more I talk about it, to breeding this filly March 1st. I know nothing about breeding, not in horses anyway. Amy's ready to give birth, but I don't know anything about breeding horses. I obviously am familiar with how it works, but I'm not a breeder. The good news is we have a lot of people that are and were and are thinking of becoming breeders that will be able to help us out. I'm thinking Sebastian K for Stolen Dance, Muscle Hill mares, a young well-bred Muscle Hill mare. I think by the time our potential Sebastian K yearling is ready to go to the sale or ready for us to keep it, it will be worth a lot of money. I look at the 4 Sebastian Ks we have in the barn, and unless we have the 4 best, which is unlikely, I think he's going to have a real good crop this year. And Sebastian K is a horse that interests me. There's a $6,000 stud fee. I don't know. I think it might be a good idea. But we'll see. Nothing cemented yet. Still, I mean, she's been in 2.5 a number of times. She brushes her knee, and the more grab you put on her, the more she gets into her inside knee, or her outside knee. She trained well all fall without any grab on. She can't go with no grab in the winter. So it's either wait till the spring, which we can do, but by the time we get her ready to go, you've missed breeding season. So I don't know. We'll see what our clients say. I mean, I own almost half of her, so that's what I'm leaning to. But I want to make sure that all our clients that are my partners on Stolen Dance are happy also. And we'll see. We'll see what happens with her. Stonebridge Simba is back. He's in Jason's barn right now. Harry's barn was just too full. We had an empty stall in Jason's barn, so I moved him down there. If you remember, Harry took care of, well, you probably don't remember, but Harry took care of Stonebridge Simba right up until the time he left and went to Andrew Harris. He had a very, very good year in Pennsylvania. Got a tough trip in the final, and then come back and raced well in the Keystone Classic, I think, the last stake. I'm not sure, maybe the Liberty Bell, I think. Anyway, he had a good end to the year. Finished 3rd, I think, in the final of that stake series. Won an elimination and 58 in the mud. I think he probably made $40,000 or $50,000. He did really well. Stonebridge Simba, very happy with him. He's back now. Stonebridge Loyal, pretty hard not to be happy with their girl. Little patience goes a long way. Patience is a virtue, as they say. Stonebridge Loyal, we gave her lots of time off in the summer, and she has come out swinging. 2 for 2 so far since her qualifier, and jogged last night. 2 minutes flat last half, 59 seconds last quarter, and 29-1 on a fairly unfavorable track and a very cold night. Stonebridge Loyal was awesome. Twinsburg, my God, I don't know what they're feeding this filly. Looks like they filled her full of helium. She is huge now. There's the biggest growing horse we've had in quite a long time. They brought her in. I almost did check the tattoo. She's got so big. This filly is absolutely huge now and looks great on the track. A lot of high hopes riding on her. A lot for me. This is a filly that showed her mettle last year and looked great all year long. Probably had a chance to win had she not get jammed up in the final of the Ohio Sire Stakes, and looked tremendous. Twinsburg, hopefully a big year coming. The last 2 definitely got big years coming from them. West 52nd is back going. He looks awesome. How you knew he would. Here's a horse that raced all year. And the best race of his entire year was the last start. He's a trooper, that colt. And he is ready to go, or not ready to go. He's ready to start training. Yes, he's growing up big. Our boy, yes, he's back also, jogging, about to start training. Both these colts be ready to go end of February, 1st of March. Very exciting times for Jason's barn, as he's got the bulk of his heavy order getting ready to go here in March. So that's it. That's the stables. That's all of them. We got a lot going on. A lot of horses qualified the other day. A lot are about to qualify. A lot to race tonight. So we got a lot going on. It's a long video, but you know what? As I said, it's our holiday. You guys got some time off. We're going to have a cool video for you ready on New Year's Eve. So that's it. That's all the stables. I will see you soon.